Hello everyone! With Island Sanctuary just being released, I'm sure you want to retire from being a floor tank and hop right into your brand new Garrison island. In this video we'll be going over the 10 most crucial tips and tricks for getting your very own Epstein Island running in no time. The first and most obvious thing that you'll need to learn how to do is how to obtain experience, but also where you should be getting experience when you're first starting. The vision quest, which you can see on the do list on your screen, will tell you what you should be doing for the first few and will reward you with enough experience to get to level 3, and a bit on that alone. After that, however, you have to start putting in work for your experience. By now, you should have an axe and a pickaxe for rocks. If you wanted to maximize your efficiency though, you should focus on these apple trees, 2 long trees, as they'll give you vines and branches respectively. Then you can craft a net to catch animals. Both gathering and crafting will also give you experience, so it's 2 birds for 1 stone really. Or actually 3 birds I suppose, as with that net you'll be able to capture animals, which brings us to the next point actually. I suppose now is as good a time as any to explain how to switch modes though. It really is just as simple as clicking the menu icon and swapping over to whatever you need. They're color coded too, so from left to right we have gathering, which is yellow, green, which is gardening, planting, watering, and removing crops, and animals, which is red, feeding, petting, beckoning, and capturing. So we finally know what the fuck this was: petting. Not sure why that needed to be its own thing, but sure, Square Enix. I'm fairly certain that petting does actually increase the animal's happiness, which then in turn yields better rewards apparently. You should make it a goal of yours to capture at least a few dozen animals at the start though, as each day you'll be able to collect material from them, whatever that means. Kinda weird that I can just gather bones and teeth from animals, but I suppose it's supposed to be sustainable, but not sure. Not only does this grant you some pretty decent experience for minimal effort each day, but also it will also let you craft better exports at the workshop. You should make sure that you have as many workshops going as possible and that they are always queued, as they're the only real main source of blue currency outside of the first few vision quests. There's a 4-hour, 6-hour, and 8-hour exports they can craft, and you can queue up to 2 weeks in advance. Just make sure that you have all of the materials required and not to get rid of any, as if you don't have the resources when your export craft begins, it will not work. You can check how many materials are being used and how many you have simply just by clicking on the material allocation button at any point in time. On the topic of blue currencies though, you may be wondering if you should use them for glamour right away, and the answer simply is no, you shouldn't. Blue currency is used for a multitude of things, including expanding your available crop locations, workshop locations, and monument locations, which improves productivity and will simply just looks neat. Blue currency is also used for the granary each day, but after you unlock all of the additional zones, you should be able to go ahead and start farming for your glamour and mounts. I'd like to take just a quick moment of your time while we're here. 1, I appreciate you being here, and 2, I noticed that most of you aren't subscribed. If you do enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing and liking the video, as it really does help a lot. Anyways, back to the video. I mentioned previously that blue currency is also used for the granary. Each day, you'll be able to send out mammoths to gather for you, and they come back with some rare materials. Think of this as more of an investment though, as you'll be able to craft better exports that are worth more blue scripts than you spent on the rare material alone. They don't come back with a whole lot, but it certainly does help, and it does give you those rare materials as I mentioned previously. And now, how to garden, as this will probably be something you want to do later in your journey, and by journey I mean within your first few hours of you stepping foot on your island and before you log off for the night. You'll need to unlock the mammoth, but assuming that you've been doing the vision quest as you should be, it will already be unlocked. It's important to remember that once you plant your seeds, that sounds kinda lewd to be honest, it's important to water them at least once a day. If it rains on your island though, that will count as them being watered. It also does appear that all of the players' islands will rain at the same time, so that's pretty neat I suppose. If you don't have any seeds to plant though, consider looking at this map. I'll put it in the description of this video so you can save it and access it whenever, but it will also be pinned in my Discord as well, casual plug. It's important to note that most of these items do require tools to obtain the base material and this special material, I guess that's what we're calling it. If you have noticed that sometimes you hit a rock, or when you chop a tree you'll get an apple and some vines, or a rock and some ore, but some trees and rocks will only give you a leaf and a rock. Well, that's simply because you don't have the tool for the job yet. Yes, there is a crafting menu that will show you if you're missing any tools for your island level, and yes again, island level is tied to the materials that you can gather, kinda lame. Though it shouldn't be much of an issue as once you hit level 5 in my opinion. I know that was 10 total tips and tricks, however I feel like it's important to say that this last tip for all of you out there. Take your time and seriously just enjoy this content. After the first couple days of leveling up and making sure that you have all of your buildings maxed out, and yes, you can max out your buildings if you click the tab on them after a certain level. You can also check by clicking on the Manage Hideaway tab. You'll notice that to get the mounts, it's a long-term commitment, and not just a play for 48 hours straight and you'll unlock everything kind of deal. There's plenty of nice areas for screenshots and for your monuments and houses to be interacted with too. So honestly, just remember that it's a marathon and not a sprint, so just enjoy your new copy of Scion's Crossing Dark Horizons. I hope you enjoyed the video and at least learned something about Island Sanctuary. If you'd like to see more guides in the future, again, please do consider subscribing and leaving a like. With that said, I won't take up any more of your time, so I've been Avasi and I am out.